There are so many amazing things to talk about with the Vancouver Canucks right now, and I just wanted to take some time to acknowledge everything that's been happening with this organization and take a look at some of the comments made by Ryan Johnson in his day one of training camp press conference that he had hosted earlier yesterday evening. First, though, let's dive into some of the stuff going on at camp. You've got the Vancouver Canucks prospects on a bus. You've got the Vancouver Canucks prospects on rafts. And, I'm not really going to go out there and say that I am a rafting expert myself. Look at Caleb Malhotra with the skateboard bucket right there. That's a swello prospect, isn't he? The guys look like they're having fun. The guys are bonding. Ultimately, one of the most impressive things that we had seen from the Vancouver Canucks and their development camp was this video. I'd highly recommend you go out there and listen to it. It's just 2 minutes long. It's Ryan Johnson addressing the prospects and introducing everything that's going to happen over the next few days with this group of guys. And just the way this guy talks, man, he makes me want to run through a brick wall. And he's not even saying anything like, oh, you gotta, charge up your batteries and work hard and pump through, push through, persevere. He's not saying any of that stuff. What he is saying is so direct, it's confident, it sends a message of professionalism, and it is the perfect kind of message that coincides with the vision that Vancouver hockey needs to be in 2026 and beyond. And I'm saying that building off of what Johnson and the Sedin said in their opening press conference. This is amazing. Just go out there and watch the video. I'll leave a link in the description below. What I also wanted to do, though, was respond to Ryan Johnson's commentary in the press conference. Because obviously, the Canucks are at development camp right now, at least the prospects are. So Ryan Johnson, he has to answer questions with the media in this room over here. Probably on a laptop. So, good shout out over to Canucks News Summaries for going out there and providing the summary as to everything that RJ goes out there and talks about. Canucks News Summaries, love the work you do, very appreciated in the community. Let's start out with the Brendan Gallagher trade, because Johnson actually talks about that. Of course, right? He has to. The Vancouver Canucks made a trade for one of the most popular guys around. He said this, that the Canadiens and the Canucks had discussed different trade scenarios. The Canucks were not in a rush to complete the trade. There were different options available, but the Canucks felt this was the best way to execute it. I also do think the Montreal Canadiens probably felt that this trade, Brendan Gallagher, 50% salary retained for future considerations, was the best way to make it as well. They wanted to do right by their leader in Galley, after all, send him over to a place that they know he wanted to go to. Anytime someone really wants to be in your organization, it's hard not to love the idea. Brendan Gallagher brings experience and passion, and he feels he has a lot of hockey left in him and a lot to prove. Johnson says that Galley will come onto this team kicking and screaming. Gallagher is ecstatic, and the Canucks are over the moon. He is going to do anything he can to help. And what I absolutely love about Gallagher, not just as a dude, but as a story, as a journey, is the fact that this guy, once upon a time, in 2021, 2020, after the Canadiens made the Stanley Cup Finals, there was this sentiment going around that, hey, the team is going to have to go through a rebuild. Nick Suzuki is still young. Cole Caulfield just made his NHL debut, but the future is where it's at. Is Kotkaniemi a part of that future? Is, Alexander Romanov a part of that future? There were some questions that needed to be answered, and overall, the Canadiens were going through this rebuild process. Brendan Gallagher said, hey, he didn't really know if he wanted to stick around through it for an entire rebuild. But he did, and he was seen as one of the best leaders on the ice when that was going down. The Habs were Stanley Cup finalists in 2021, and the very next season they got the first overall pick and drafted Juraj Slafkovsky. Yes, it's true the Habs had a few lottery wins with the actual lottery balls, and then some draft wins with Lane Hudson in the second round in 2022. But at the end of the day, the Montreal Canadiens were able to cultivate a winning, positive environment, and Gallagher was one of the guys that helped accomplish that. So, Ryan Johnson, he took on the right guy, bringing him over to Vancouver. Johnson speaks about building the Canucks roster. He wants to get role definition into the hockey team, have more identity to their group. Johnson also says the Nils Höglander trade yesterday gives the Canucks more definition and role identity. They'll continue to work on the roster over the next few days. He also loves the special teams challenging each other, always makes the power play better when the PK is doing its job. RJ talks about toughness. He likes size, speed, and character. He wants stiffness by committee rather than a single player or line. When one person commits, it usually means others start also doing it too. He wants the Canucks to be harder to play against, and Gallagher is extremely difficult to play against. He also speaks about trying to be diligent, calculate, and strategic in building the roster. So it does seem like Ryan Johnson is taking a very direct approach with this mindset of building the kind of team that he wants to build, not just acquiring guys for the sake of acquiring guys. There's a very specific philosophy that he wants to uphold here. And it seems like even at development camp, that philosophy will be tossed out too. Turns out Alex Edler is going to be a part of development camp here for Vancouver. That is awesome. The Eagle is back, baby. If it weren't for Quinn Hughes, that gosh darn Quinn Hughes coming onto the franchise and taking all those records, Alex Edler would still be the best defenseman in Canucks history. We obviously understand that from a talent perspective, Edler and Hughes, it's no contest, but Alexander Edler, with all the years and all the points that he had accrued as a member of the Vancouver Canucks, to even doing some productive things with the LA Kings in his final 2 NHL seasons, Edler is just a guy that we all love. And I don't think anybody is going to challenge that. Who doesn't love Edler? Maybe there was a period in 2017-18 where we, and I say we, mostly me, I was super upset that Alex Edler would not pass it to Brock Boeser on the power play. That was when Boeser was a rookie and we were all hoping for him to outproduce Matthew Barzal to win the Calder that season, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Edler is going to be a part of Canucks development camp. Ryan Johnson hopes to have the Canucks coaching staff announcement as well, done by the middle to the end of this week. And the Abbotsford Canucks staff is being hired by Rich Seeley. They are narrowing the candidates down to 3 or 4. Johnsons and the Sedins will then get involved. So maybe some other changes on the forefront coming soon. We then had ourselves this update. Ryan Johnson spoke about team building. He has had to do a lot of tasks in a very short period of time. Many people have reached out to offer help and to assist the Canucks to getting them to where they need to be. And then when it comes to playing a role, a successful hockey team has each player knowing what they are bringing to the team every day. They are in good hands when everyone has an understanding of what is needed from them. And that just bleeds into everything that the Canucks have been sending message-wise over the past few weeks. And heck, I'm even going to start saying that transcends into the actual prospects that they took. Adam Novotny is a guy that the Vancouver Canucks have coveted for his leadership. Caleb Malhotra is a guy that the Canucks have coveted for his leadership. There was a video going around on social media of Caleb Malhotra pre-NHL draft going out there and hanging out with the kids. He's talking to Keaton Verhoeff, who also happens to be there. They're interacting, they're talking with the youth. He's making friends out there. Caleb Malhotra, if you watch this video too, this is a swell guy. You think about players that deserve that captaincy on their chest. Caleb Malhotra is one of those players. He just inspires so much hope. He's like All Might out there, honestly, inspiring these kids and telling them that they can do whatever they need to do and being that shining light of hope on the ice for these other human beings. Good people, man. Good people. I love to see this kind of stuff. And now, talking about it, it's like, hey, is anyone else concerned with how much emphasis the Canucks are placing on professionalism and being a quality teammate? How toxic was that room? And I think that's a conversation for another day. But either way, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about Ryan Johnson speaking out on Gallagher, speaking out on Edler, speaking out on a bunch of Vancouver Canucks related notes heading into prospect camp? I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.